on brand, not wearing the shirt, which we genuinely appreciate. I love this. Okay, so you got the shout outs to all these Midwest cities, and what you said, I realized Midwest loves exactly two things: sports and party, or at least I realize that. So give me your controversial take. I've been told that you think Ohio is the best state in all the land. Why, good sir?
It's very simple. I'll start with topography. It's got the most diverse topography out of any of the states we have. Now, you can sit and say, what about Montana? Well, now we're going to switch over. Diversity.
California?
Ohio's diversity is through the roof. It's beautiful. You're going to see a little bit of everything, including what I need in every state: gay men. I need good, positive gay men politics. Gay men, give you great neighborhoods, great schools. Gay men are super perfect. Now, let's talk about big cities. Name another state with as many big cities as Ohio. So you have a choice. You can live in Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton. Hell, I'll go to Youngstown. I mean, it's such an amazing state. And then last but not least, the people. Dare I say the Kelsey brothers are the gold standard for men these days, and they are two Ohio natives. I love the state of Ohio.
I think you go harder for Ohio than Ohioans go for Ohio.
I actually do. Well, here's the cheat code in this. As a comedian, they had 5 of the biggest clubs in the country. So you would go to 5 cities a year to Ohio. So you ended up falling in love with the place. And look, when a rainstorm comes through in Ohio, it comes through just as hard as it does in Florida, but it's not as scary. I mean, thunderstorms in Florida were terrifying.
That is a very fair point. I mean, Ohio has tornadoes? Maybe once in a blue moon?
Once in a blue moon.
Listen, Ohio.
Growing up in Florida was like growing up in Australia. Everything could kill you. We had alligators. We had poisonous snakes. We had lightnings. We had the mafia. We had everything you could ever die from. Do you know what it's like to be 10 years old? Your mom drop you off at Babe's the Harriest golf course and say, listen, I'm going to pick you up at 4:00, hit 2 rounds. You're going to play 2 rounds, have lunch here. And if it rains, get under a tree. And you're 10 years old under a tree in a thunderstorm with other grown men who are crying. It is terrifying being a child in Florida. Water skiing. Do you think we ever enjoyed water skiing? There are alligators the size that the size they keep in zoos are in our lakes. Florida is. I grew up surfing in New Smyrna Beach, the #1 shark attack capital in the world. The #1 shark attack capital in the world. The kids that come out of Florida are harder than any kids in all of the United States.
As somebody that spent considerable amount of time in the state of Louisiana, I concur. Okay, the wilderness in the deep South is absolutely terrifying. But you bring up you're from Florida. You're a massive Florida State fan. Got nothing but good vibes with the Florida State team this year. Last year, not so much. No. How much do you credit the guy who didn't eat the dog poop for Florida State's 2-10 season last year?
It's a fair question.
I think I give Coach Norville a little more credit. I think listen, I think we got a great quarterback right now. We've got a great team. I think the energy at Florida State is wild. And I think the athletic director and the president are doing the right thing by bringing in so much old blood. Listen, I was persona non grata for probably 20 years until Mike Alford reached out to me and said, hey man, we'd love to have you start coming by the games. I swear to God, when they said to me this year, would you give the pump-up speech for game 1, the first game, stand out in the field in front of 90,000 people and just talk from the heart. And I think they wanted me to say, God bless the troops, God bless America, start your engines or whatever. But they were like, just talk from the heart. And I gave them a minute and a half of garnet and gold love. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying I have nothing to do, but I'll tell you right now, that energy that allows a shirtless lunatic comedian a microphone in front of 90,000 of their fans, that energy is the kind of energy we're playing ball with this year.
Okay, Bert, but let's have an honest moment here. By the way, permission to party tour tickets are on sale at BertBert.com. Which only brings me to the fact that, like, all the articles are out there. Bert Kreischer, one of the highest grossing comics in all of America. The minute how long after that article comes out before Florida State hits you up and they're like, hey, we got some NIL needs. Like, we need a quarterback, Bert. Like, how often is the bat phone ringing to Bert Kreischer?
Listen, I'm heavily funded in the women's beach volleyball team. I got some money on some softball players. No, You know, they've never asked me for a penny. I swear to God, they've never asked me for a penny.
Would you donate it?
Nah.
Not even like
Okay.
the Bert Kreischer fitness facility in the
Here's
football
my thing.
stadium.
Here's my thing. If I've been burned by donating money in the past, because the second you donate money, there are people on the internet going, you can donate more. So I said, I ended up donating like $2,000 for Habitat Humanity for the Buccaneers to help me and Doug Williams, a legendary quarterback, donated like $2,000. And the fans lost their minds. How dare you? That's an insult. You grossed ... last year and you're donating $2,000. I ended up buying a house. I ended up donating $100,000 and buying the house. And go, okay, no one has to donate. I'll just buy the house. But so if I ever donate anything to Florida State, I'm going to take the old Burt Reynolds approach and donate uniforms and make them wear a uniform I design on a Sunday that I know they're going to smoke the team.
I mean, that, by the way, the same thing happened to Taylor Swift that made a massive donation after tornadoes in Nashville, and people came back and said it wasn't enough. I feel you on that. But your name gets you on the sidelines. There's no doubt. Like Bert Kreischer gets to go on the sidelines. Who's the most famous person that hits you up to come backstage to one of your shows, though?
Wow. That's crazy. You know, anyone, I'll tell you the one that is the feather in my hat that means a lot to me is, you know, growing up in Florida playing baseball, Wade Boggs was our hero. He was the third baseman over at Plant. And when I got reached out by the Boggs family to come to my show in Tampa, I was at the Amalie Arena. I put him in the same box as I had my parents. And I mean, Wade Boggs he's a legend. And my dad called me from the box and he goes, buddy, Wade Boggs is here. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he was like, no. Do you think he knows who you are? I was like, yeah, I think so, Dad. I'm the only one on stage tonight. And then Wade Boggs and my dad went through backstage and analyzed my swing. It was awesome. That was like maybe, you know, that's my feather in my cap.
That's incredible. Amalie Arena, by the way, some of the best sushi that I've ever had, which maybe
Really?
says a lot about Amalie Arena or maybe a lot about
Or
the
the sushi
sushi
you've
that
had.
I haven't had in my life. Delicious sushi at Amalie Arena. But we just saw one of those photos, you know, decked out in Tampa Bay Buccaneers gear. You're from Florida. You grew up a Bucs fan, but you're also a self-proclaimed Cowboys fan.
No, not at all. I've
How
never
does
said
that
that.
happen?
You know what I might have said? I might have said there was a period when the girls were little, when I was traveling so much and I was flying American Airlines and I was always going through the Dallas terminal. And I would never remember to bring the girls something home. So I ended up bringing them Cowboys stuff and, you know, as a traveling comedian, I think every mid-level comic that I've been that I was at my entire career knows you just want to find a team that's on. This is before the internet was the way it is and Amazon and YouTube with all the streaming and the direct TV. You just want to find a game that's on that you can enjoy. And Dallas was always on. And it was when Tony Romo was playing, and Tony Romo was so fun to watch. He was such a, and by the way, he's an amazing broadcaster, possibly even a better broadcaster. But I was a Dallas fan for the girls' childhood, and it was before the Rams came to LA. It was when I was persona non grata at Florida State, and the Bucs weren't having it, and so I would watch every Dallas game because that was what you'd go to the bar, you'd land in Dallas. You go to the bar and the Dallas game will be on. You have a double Tito's and soda back in the day before Porosos, but yeah.
All right, so I've reached out to a bunch of my friends. We have some mutual friends after my years in Nashville to find out what I should ask Bert Kreischer. Taylor Lewan came back and said, "Got to get your thoughts on the bench press competition." So you're sitting here with no shirt on. What would you like to tell the world about you and the Bussin' Boys and maybe a little benching?
This is the difference between us regular men and professional athletes. We're a lot of talk and not a lot of function. Like I love tugging the tail of a professional athlete. It is my favorite thing in the world to watch their faces turn over and they know what accomplishment is. And I know a lot of them. And I told those boys I could bench 300 pounds. And I showed them a video of me getting pinned at 295 and they put the bet on immediately. I'll tell you right now, I've never enjoyed working out more in my life with a goal in mind, with a goal in sight. And so they said I needed to bench 320 pounds by the Super Bowl. and I worked out harder than I've ever worked out in my entire life. I think I gained 80 pounds on my bench press. I mean, it was crazy in like 2 months. And I ended up benching 325 pounds. And what's crazy is like I'm overweight, but I really enjoy bench pressing. The other day I did like 295, I think, 6 times. So I love being sneaky athletic. It's no one the guy that's in great shape and that performs, everyone expects it. But when you're 255 pounds and you go to your high school baseball team and you hit a home run at 52 and you watch the look on young boys' faces like, whoa. Or when your buddy challenges you to a tennis match and you ace him 35 times and he's like, I didn't see that. Or when you go to a celebrity golf tournament and stripe one down the middle, like I did at what's the Saudis golf team? The Saudis golf team?
Live golf.
Live golf.
Live golf.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's a bad way to explain it. Live golf. They're like, hey, can you go to the watering hole and hit a 9-iron? And I'm like, yeah. Stripe it down the center, and everyone's like, what's that fat guy doing? Or when I ran the LA Marathon with no training at all in 5 hours and 33 minutes, or did a triathlon with no training at all. I love that energy. I love it. And that's why Tom and I have a 5K, is that it's fun to get out there and get active and be athletic. And our 5K is for the average person that doesn't get off the couch often. And, Jelly Roll's our mascot. So
well, you guys can check out Free Bert. It's coming out on Netflix. That's obviously special that you've got there. And then Bert.com. You're touring everywhere. I'm just gonna say, Bert, you're in Hartford, right down the road from me in a few weeks. Am I now that you've hung out with me? Am I welcome backstage? Like, what do we do? Like, I've got my tickets. Like, coming back, like me hanging with Bert. Like, let's just making it happen.
Hey, bring your boys. Bring everyone backstage. The thing is, this permission to party is just. It's my permission to party. It's getting out on the road and having a good time. And the material's loose and fun. It's going to be my new hour on Netflix. I'm shooting a new hour in like 12 months. Free Bert's my new TV show that comes out in January. It's a scripted series. And but it's like, look, man, I don't talk politics. I don't talk trans vaccine stuff. All the stuff my buddies and I may talk about behind the scenes. None of that's on stage. I don't ever talk about that stuff on stage. I just talk about my family, my fun, and black dudes.
And on that note,
That's the trifecta right there.
Yeah, just check him out on tour, Bert. Man, we
They're the
appreciate
best.
the time, and I appreciate that you didn't wear a shirt. I expect nothing less, I expect nothing less than full on.
Here, I'm not wearing pants. Let me show you that.
Okay, now we got to go. We're on TV. Appreciate you, Bert. Thanks for hanging out with us.